Okay kids, so you want to write a book. You want to be the next J.K. Rowling, J.R. Tolkien, or whoever the hell. Well, first off, don't. This is a path to suffering and caffeine. Run while you can. Are they gone? Phew. Oh good, only the cool people are left. So if you're dead set on this highway to hell, congratulations, and welcome to the loony bin. I myself am currently unpublished, but I'm for sure a writer and aspiring author, and I just recently finished the third draft for my work-in-progress novel. I've done a lot of research into both improving my writing craft, as well as learning about the publishing landscape, and now I'm here to let you know the basic shit you need to know to get yourself started. Just remember that I don't know all there is to know, and I'm not claiming to. So be sure to do a lot of research on your own and do what you feel will be best for your own damn career. We'll start with the basic shit. Writing the damn book. Unless you get a ghostwriter, in which case, why are you here, you weakling? First, you gotta brainstorm. Take all the cool ideas swirling in your head, or some like to phrase it, your synapses firing in your little brain cage, and plop them somewhere. A Word document, a notebook, a whiteboard, an Etch-a-Sketch, whatever. These ideas can be for plot events, characters, locations, genres, really anything. After this, you gotta outline that shit. Figure out how you can string everything together into a coherent narrative. It helps to figure out the messages you want to get across in this story, themes that will strengthen your book, something that you want your readers to walk away with going, whoa, deep man, while crying their fucking eyes out. Ideally, you want to figure out your themes first because those will inform your plot, and that in turn will inform your characters and world. If you try to go in reverse order, I guarantee you're likely to fall into a rabbit hole of world building that you will never escape from. Now, once you've got the rough outline together, it's time to figure out if you want this story to be a standalone novel or several books. Get the major events set up ahead of time because it'll save you a lot of headaches down the road. Once you do that, you can outline the chapters for your book and figure out what events go where and how to connect them. It's important to remember that the outline is just a guideline. If you stray from it, you're not going to get shot by the writing police, unless you're dealing in some fantasy drug, in which case you better fucking share. With this, you can start your first draft. Now, it's important to remember that your first draft will suck. You can have years of experience under your belt, but trust me, you will hate it. If you ask my honest opinion, everybody writes crap on their first run through, because our minds are a mess and it's a miracle we got anything on the page to fucking begin with. What makes a good writer is taking that plop of crap you throw into the canvas and refining it into a masterpiece. Or some pretentious crap like that. I also feel I need to stress that you should not edit on your first draft. Now, there are some strange breeds of writers that are able to edit their first draft before finishing it without a problem. But these people are unicorns. In that they're probably not you, you're just a pony with some shitty cone glued to your head with glitter thrown everywhere stinging your eyes. The thing is that when people try to edit their first drafts, they get so caught up in trying to perfect it that they never finish their first draft. Don't worry about it sucking, because it's allowed to suck. A shitty first draft is better than nothing, because you can at least turn that shit into gold. You just gotta put the effort in. While you're doing this, you should be working on your author platform. Get on social media and try to connect with people because this is the digital era and damn it, who the fuck else is gonna buy your crap? But really, no matter what publishing route you choose, a presence on social media is vital to getting your work out there in the public eye. You can make a website down the line, but right now you gotta put yourself out there and at least try to be seen. For me, I occasionally use Tumblr, but my main go-to is Twitter. I've also started this YouTube channel to help connect to more people since most writers tend to avoid vlogging. It's not nearly as saturated as blogging, and my blog's just kind of sitting there because it drove me slowly insane. Figure out what's best for you and go. You also want to figure out how you want to publish. Do you want to go traditional, or do you want to fight the man and go indie? Indie's cool, kids. Come on and join me in this little renegade we got going on. We have cookies, I promise. I might have eaten all the cookies, but there's cookies. Or maybe you want to be a unique little giraffe and go for the hybrid playthrough. Be sure to, again, do your research and figure out what route will be best for you. Once you finish your first draft, it's time for your second draft. This will be easier with critique partners. Friends of yours who are fellow writers that you trust to look at your work and be brutally honest with you. They can let you know what's working for them and what's not, and with their feedback, and with the little things that have been bothering you through your first draft, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can start making notes on what changes you need to make for your second draft. Scenes to cut or add, arcs that need further development, characters you thought were super important but really are just useless as shit. You get the idea. Now what I do is create two new documents. The first one is where I copy and paste the chapter I'm currently working on, and the other is a fresh document. I keep them both on the screen, and I read through the original work and rewrite it from scratch. Now before you go, fuck that, listen to me, you little shit. This is not nearly as irritating as you might think. You see, when you're not working from scratch, you're more likely to breeze through redundant sentences, odd sentence structure and wording, and all that other crap that's invisible to us but is very visible to our readers. You'll catch things that you never even realized were there. As I go, I turn the sections I finished in the copy and paste document red, and every few paragraphs I'll see how many words I've managed to cut since I'm an overwriter. This process is the same for however many drafts you feel you need, though I subscribe to the rule of third time's the charm, so get the fuck over it and just do it. Once you do this, it's time for beta readers. Oh my god, it's not that bad. Beta readers are really just unbiased readers who will go through your book and let you know whether they like what you wrote or want to murder you for breathing. Everybody's got a different method for handling beta readers, though ideally you want to send them one chapter at a time or groups of chapters at a time, and have interviews asking them about anything important within the chapter. Keep track of who says what, and make sure to update your burn book as you go. They will pay for what they've done. With that, you'll go through some more edits taking what the beta reader said and making the necessary changes based on whether or not you think they gave you some helpful critiques, or if they're just bitter, jealous bitches. Some beta readers might not be helpful at all and make you want to claw your eyes out, but I promise you there are really good beta readers out there just waiting to tear into your manuscript like a pack of hungry velociraptors. From here I'll be talking about the indie author process, since that's the route I'm going. If you're gonna go with a smaller traditional publisher, it's time for our timelines to split, my darling. But I hope I was able to help you. Good luck finding an agent, and may the odds be ever in your favor. Once the final edits are done and you're content with your story, it's time for the professional edit. Now there are different types of editing, but if you're sure your story is fine the way it is structurally, your best route is copy editing and or proofreading. These are kinda similar, but not at all the same. Copy editing looks at sentence structure, grammar, and make sure your book isn't a dumpster fire grammar Nazi's worst nightmare. While proofreading is just making sure you know the difference between your and your, and if you don't, I will find you. And yes, this is necessary. You gotta make sure you're as professional as possible. I know you're a hot mess. We all are. But think of your readers. Aren't you pissed off when you see an out-of-place comma or apostrophe? No? Just me? Well, fuck you, get that shit fixed. And after editing, it's time for formatting. You can hire a professional formatter or use this fancy-ass software called Vellum. But the point is to get your manuscript all nice and pretty and ready for ebook and print. This involves a lot of research into what type of files are best for which stores. You figured out which stores you're selling in, right? But it's worth it if you don't want your book to burn your readers' eyes out. They can't pick up the sequel if they're dead, am I right? Once you got that shit sorted out and you know the dimensions for what your cover and book spine should be, it's time to find a professional cover designer. And no, you can't do it yourself. I mean, sure, if you have experience in graphic design and are a super talented artist, then go ahead, you unique little unicorn. Just don't let me know who you are, because I will kill you to steal your abilities. Find a great trustworthy artist, decide what kind of cover would work best for your story, imagery, and genre, and get her done. Also make sure that your cover looks nice in thumbnail form, or else people will take one look and spit on your dreams. With all this in order, I'm sure you've been marketing your book. Right. At least letting the following you've built up know it exists. Right. Once your book's all set up and ready for publication, it's time to set up your author profile on Amazon and set the book up for pre-order. Get a launch date set and announce from the heavens to your audience. Don't spam it, because you will get stabbed. But if you provide meaningful and enjoyable content, plugging it in at the end and asking your audience to support you can be much more helpful than you might think. It's all about being authentic and real with people, because that's the best thing you can do in the long run. And if you're a fake-ass motherfucker, I hate you. You also want to enlist some ARC reviewers. ARC stands for Advanced Reader Copy. These are bloggers and book reviewers that can help you build hype for your book once it launches. It's important to remember that they're going to be brutally honest, but so long as your beta readers are trustworthy and are sure your book is in its best form, you should be fine. Because you got beta readers, right? And then you publish. And that's it. Well, it's actually never done. You'll want to learn as much as you can about marketing, using keywords to your advantage, specifically on Amazon, and pricing your content right. But even if your book doesn't do well, just remember that you did what so many people said they'd do but never got around to. You wrote a book! Congrats, here's a participation trophy. Now I recommend some ice cream to cry away your therapy sessions. Now, shameless plug. My own book is currently sitting in the limbo between its third draft and an edit, though I'm lucky enough to have a fantastic artist for a friend who I'm working on promotional art with. It's a new adult urban fantasy novel. Basically Harry Potter if humanity knew about wizards and the world nearly died by World War III. Also, it's pretty gay, you guys. It's fantastic. I'll be posting some more writing tip videos alongside my other review content, which you should totally check out. I'd really appreciate that. And once the promotional art's done, I'll be talking more about my book and the plan for its release. So feel free to subscribe and stay tuned. And if you're looking for more writing tip videos, I have 3 channels in mind. The first is the cyborg queen of AuthorTube herself, Jenna Moresi. She's crude, she's rude, and she's high-key one of my favorite people ever. She's already published her sci-fi new adult novel, Eve the Awakening, and is currently working on a fantasy book called The Savior's Champion. Her YouTube channel is dedicated to every part of the writing process, so go children, fly and become obsessed. The second's a relatively new player, Bella Rose Pope. She's kinda like Jenna in that she's awesome and keeps it real. It always helps to have multiple perspectives on how to get better at writing, so be sure to check out out her content as well and laugh your ass off. And the third is just right. He doesn't post videos specifically on writing books, but he does critique and analyze films, TV shows, and all the sort and talk about ideas that all writers can take something away from. He's got great production values, unlike my own shitty videos, but hey, I try, and is incredibly thoughtful, and kinda has his shit together more than us losers. So grab your monocles and prepare for some intellectual discussions by the fireplace. Hopefully you won't want to jump into it upon realizing how much shit there is to actually learn. Along with those, I recommend you check out The Creative Pen. Joanna Penn is basically the queen of self-publishing. Her website and podcast are filled with helpful tips that really are great for indie authors. I may or may not have binged a lot of her podcasts, which is how I found out about Vellum, the formatting software. Yeah, pretty damn helpful. Anyway, I hope this was useful to you. Good luck on your book. Try not to die. I'm the Unicorn of War, and this has been a shit show.